Good morning, Chavra. Today is the 9th day of Tishrei, Erev Yom Kippur, Tafshin Pei Vav. Coming to you live from Chabad of West Orange. Now, in today's lesson, the mitzvahs, whose source is the level of Arech are on a higher plane than Torah. What a statement is that? However, it's on a higher level than Torah. How could that be? However, as they stand in the spheres, they're situated in Malchus, which is lower than Torah. So it's the source, because that's the will of Hashem. So the inversion is because only through created beings and fulfilling his mitzvahs is Hashem recognized as king, and therefore the mitzvahs are considered the essence of Torah. So it's now understood in terms of the spheres why the mitzvahs are in Malchus, the latter hey of the four-letter name of Hashem. But Torah b'zeir anpin vav shel Shem Havaya, while the Torah is in zeir anpin, the vav of the four-letter Shem Havaya. Agam shemayla barech anpin hamitzvahs hein b'gigul galto v'lav nunis, though on a higher plane, as mitzvahs and Torah are found in the level of Keser in arech anpin. The mitzvahs are in the gul galta, literally the skull. That encompasses the moichin, and more specifically in the whiteness, meaning the level of chesed and the gul galta of chesed of arich anpin. You want to know why we eat kreplach erev Yom Kippur? I mean, the meat, it's not always round. The meat is not necessarily light. It could be spicy, it could be heavy, whatever. Okay, this is what I heard. It's a minute. I heard is, you ever heard, you know why? The dough surrounds the meat, and dough is generally white, right, or lighter in color. That's why we really boil them. It's supposed to be boiled because then the dough is still very white. Yeah. And you bake it like some do, and it gets brown. Yeah. Okay. So it's white. And the meat is red. The meat is red, and the meat is like more harsh. So the red represents gvura. It represents stringency and strictness, and the left side. And white represents chesed, clean, pure. So the white surrounds the gvura and encompasses it and closes it off. And then we eat it, and it's delicious. Yeah, same idea. And when we eat it together, it becomes the Tiferes. It's a very interesting thing. He ha'urcha depalgusa desare pagosa de taryag urchin da'iraisa shebzeranpin, meaning the path that is in the parting of the sides. What are the sides? The hairs, which divided to 613 paths of the Torah, as it is in Zeranpin. Thus, mitzvahs are the encompassing level of Gulgalta that transcends the level of Moichin. So the root of the Torah, which really issues from the supernal Chachma, though it ultimately derives from a root, which is loftier than the supernal Chachma, is in the concealment of Moichin. Excuse me. Maybe you want to make me a tea? Please, run. Take it, please. Run. Take a napkin with you. You want to make a nap. So what is the root of the Torah? It's the concealed moichin of arech anpin, which is the wisdom underlying the reason for the mitzvahs, underlying the reason for the commandments. So the concealed moichin of arech anpin that utterly transcends the comprehension and contains the wisdom underlying the reason for the commandments. What Torah we can understand to a certain extent, but mitzvahs fundamentally we cannot understand why. The Rambam, the Alter Rebbe explained, the Rambam does give reasons. But the real reason we don't know. That's just what Hashem wanted. Torah mitzvahs are rooted in Keser. And the mitzvahs are on a higher plane than Torah. Torah is rooted in the concealed Chachma, the level of Meichin and Keser. While mitzvahs are rooted in the Golgalta, the encompassing level of Keser that transcends Meichin. Golgalta, again, like the skull, which houses the brain. Why is it that in their standing within the Sfiras and within the corresponding letters of the four-name Havaya, Torah is loftier than mitzvahs? The mitzvahs are situated in Malchus, that's the lower level, and in the corresponding final letter Hey of the divine name, while the Torah is higher up in the Vav. So this is a question that the Alter Rebbe now answers. Ela shehu kechoisam hamishapich. This is like an inverted seal. The stamp of an engraved seal leaves an impression, which is, we said yesterday, Yaakov was really supposed to be first. What happens if you have a Pringles can, Marshall, right? And you put in a tennis ball. You know those put in a tennis ball, and then you put in a second tennis ball. And you pull out the tennis ball. This one came first, but which one went in first?
Accounting, the counting thing, first in, first out.
Yaakov was really conceived first, but because he was first and Esav came second, Esav came out first. So Esav was the Bechor. But really, Yaakov was first. So it's like the inverted seal. The stamp of an engraved seal leaves an impression, which is the exact opposite of itself. Right becomes left, left becomes right. Whatever protrudes becomes indented, and whatever was indented protrudes. I don't know if you use those stamps. You remember those stamps where you push down on the back of a check? My wife uses them all the time. I don't use them. It's backwards. But when you push it down, it comes out. The stamp gets. Oh, that's different. That's backwards and forwards was all the same. You're getting too deep for me. I can't understand that stuff. So too, the protruding or superior level of mitzvahs and keser descended by means of ishtalshalos. So if mitzvahs came second and the Torah was first, the beginning is wedged in the culmination. So what's the beginning of the superior level of Keser in which the mitzvahs are rooted, descended, and is wedged at the culmination of the lowest level of the sphere? So Malchus, that being the power, that power of the blessed and safe to create yesh in something from nothing, so far as explained above. As explained above, the power of Keser is vested within Malchus. Okay, we're on top of page 89. Not by way of ilava olo, cause and effect, whereby the olo, the effect, would be encompassed by the ilo, the cause, and essentially non-subsistent. Non-subsistent. We gotta go back and edit that. Relative to it, such a manner of creation would not possibly fulfill the divine intent in creation. But it has to be in such a way that the yesh is completely distinct and separate from Hashem, so that the blessed emanator, King of Hashem, King over all such self-styled separate beings. Paul, is there any tea, Paul? Are there any tea bags? Or we're out? Tea bags. Where would they be? Okay, so that Hashem could be king over everything separate. If Hashem wanted to be king, it's not like, oh, it's all part of me. It has to be separate. It has to be the Am, and then I'm the king. When the king commands them, they have to be separate from him. He can't be commanding himself. The creations have to be separate from the king. It's only thereby that the king's desire to reign of creating beings is fulfilled. As explained above, his sovereignty can find expression only over creatures who consider themselves to be separate entities from himself, but who nevertheless nullify their will to his through their actual performance of mitzvahs. Moreover, the final act, those mitzvahs that are performed with physical objects. This is where the whole pistol started. that we're going to show how the mitzvahs dafka have to be done with physical objects, was present at the beginning of his thought, in the level of thought that transcends even the first divine thought, Reishis Chachma. This is some sublime level. A divine intent desires the fulfillment of those mitzvahs, which involve physicality. Barry, you hear this? Rabbi. From the beginning, Hashem knew and wanted that the mitzvahs have to be done through a physical object. L'chein Amr b'Yerushalmi v'leis lei l'Rabbi Shimon the mafsik l'lulav. We're coming up to Sukkot. That's why our sages in Yerushalmi and Talmud Yerushalmi, it says, is then Rab Shimon not of the opinion that one interrupts Torah study in order to fulfill the mitzvah of lulav, meaning that even Torah study defers to a mitzvah, the time whose performance has arrived. So you're learning, but it's a time to the bench lulav and esrog, just a branch, like you would think. Torah comes first, but the physical mitzvah of shaking a lulav takes precedence. As the Talmud Yerushalmi proceeds to quote Rabbi Yechanan, whoever learns with the intention not to practice, it was better for him. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to say this out loud. Yeah.
Who was never born.
Right. That's the That's
so
tough.
Let me ask a question.
So you don't learn Torah just for fun. You learn Torah in order to know how to do a mitzvah, or you learn Torah as a mitzvah itself to connect to Hashem. You don't learn Torah so that you could boast how much you know.
It's also the reverse. You do the actions to our Torah. It's kind of what I'm saying, right? Because if the action leads, the action of
but how do you? Yeah, but how do you?
The Torah.
But how do you know how to do the mitzvah? You have to learn the Torah.
Right. I'm saying sometimes.
But and the Torah itself, learning Torah itself is a mitzvah.
If you're like for Talmud, it's just
Lee is trying to come up with another chap. He's saying if you do mitzvahs, then it'll lead to learning Torah.
Someone keeps Shabbos because they think it's a nice thing to do. But
Oh, right, like so and so. Put down your phones for the weekend. Okay, it's fine.
For non-Jews, it's a nice thing. But for Jew, if a Jew just keeps Shabbos, if a Jew said it's supposed to the religion keep Shabbos just because just because my parents told me to, but I don't actually believe it. Anyway,
Okay, look, page 90. Thus, a person should study Torah and not intend to. If a person should study Torah and not intend to perform mitzvahs, he is lacking the very root and foundation of the Torah. It would have been better for him had his afterbirth turned over. Something like that. But that's what it says here. Basically, we don't learn Torah just for fun, and we don't learn Torah just for self-knowledge. We learn Torah because it's a mitzvah, because Hashem commanded us to learn Torah, and it teaches us how to do a mitzvah. I remember many years ago, somebody came up to me. He was very, very distraught. He said that someone told him that if he doesn't go to a shir on Hilchos Shabbos, he's not keeping Shabbos properly. And he was very, very upset about it. And I said, this is not what he meant. He should have said it a little gentler, a little nicer, that if you really want to keep Shabbos properly, you got to learn the halachas. You want to keep Yom Kippur properly, you got to learn the halachas. Listen, washing the hands is one of the sort on Yom Kippur. We can't, up till the knuckles, and that's it. Creams and ointments and marital relations and food. Obviously, if somebody's sick, there's a whole process and method before getting to the point where if a doctor says he has to eat fully, he has to eat fully. But there's important halachas that we have to know. If there's a little junk in our eye or something like that, from the little bit of water, you could take your fingers and take it out. But you can't just say, I got to wash my face in the morning. Of course, it's Yom Kippur. I got to be fresh when I'm going to shul. I'm sure that Torah allows it. No, that's wrong. So in order to really know the mitzvahs, the physical, to be able to do the physical mitzvahs, which Hashem is waiting for us to do, and he thought about it before anything. Look how important it is, the physicality of the mitzvahs. Subjugating ourselves from not eating is mamash a mitzvah. Somebody asked me early this morning, is it better to, this one's a no-brainer. Obviously, everybody's going to understand and agree with me right away. Is it better to stay home or to drive to synagogue and pray and then, be able to be part of the service and whatever? I said, stay home, fast. But a lot of people ask, if I come to shul, I might need to eat because I'm elderly or I'm not feeling well or this. Fasting is the most important thing. If a person if a person breaks their fast, and of course there are different measurements, we're not going to get into all the details now. If a person breaks their fast, chayiv kares. Now, as far as the davening, that's midrabanan. That's important. Sure, we have to daven, and daven whatever you can. But it's better if a person lays in bed the whole Yom Kippur and does not fast than says any of the prayers. So, well, obviously, get into the, how little and everything else. If a person must eat or must take a medication, there's certain measurements, and it doesn't mean that they're still fasting. This is the misnomer. As long as you do less than this and this, you're still fasting. No, it means that you're not going to get kares. And we want to try to help you avoid kares because it's very, very important. Let me finish this, then we'll have a discussion. Have a wonderful day. Chazer over whatever Torah you can. Give as much tzedakah as you can. And Mincha is going to be at 3:30. And make sure that you prepare yourself mentally, physically, spiritually for the upcoming fast. And it's a mitzvah today to eat a lot of food. Chavra, you guys, you hear that? Eat a lot of food, enough for 2 days worth. Chavra, go home and eat. And we'll see you at Mincha. Good Geben Shtiar, an easy fast, a meaningful Yom Kippur. Gmar Chesed Teva.